Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here at NAB 2024, and this is AVID's Michael Krulik. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so this is day 3, I think. Well, first let's just, I know there's been some changes. I know Jeff Rosica is sort of transitioning out of his role as CEO, and there's a new one. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about the changes, and then we can jump into some of the new Media Composer offerings for the show.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. There have been changes. I mean, everybody knows that STG actually purchased AVID, and we're very excited because we know that we're going to be able to probably innovate a lot more. And STG basically wanted to get into a company and acquire a company that is in the media and entertainment industry. And they picked a pretty good one.
Yes, yeah.
And I have to say, I mean, I love working for AVID after being here for 22 years already, and just excited about what we bring. And again, STG is very excited. They've been watching us for a while, so it's been really good. And as far as Jeff, Jeff has basically done some amazing stuff with AVID. We're very excited, but unfortunately, he has decided to pass the torch and bring in another CEO. So Welford Dillard is coming in to actually take his place. He's actually here at NAB. Actually, they're having a lot of meetings, introducing Welford to a lot of our customers, and just getting him acclimated with AVID.
NAB thrown right into the fire. It's a first show. Come here and see everything.
Right, exactly.
So talk about what's new for the show for Media Composer.
Well, Media Composer, definitely is still a very strong product being used for a lot of the feature films and television shows that everybody watches. We are doing a lot of work with AI. So AI is a big thing here at NAB, and people are talking about it a lot. So we've recently built in some great technology with an AI engine in Media Composer to help boost our ScriptSync and PhraseFind feature. We have transcription now, so you can actually select a clip, create a transcript from a clip. We can export a transcript with speaker ID, and we can also export a transcript with for subtitling. So if you select a sequence, export a subtitle list, import that back into Media Composer, and you get exact subtitles where they're supposed to land for the sequence.
Wow, that makes it a lot easier for everyone.
Definitely does. And we're also doing a lot more, so you will see a lot more advancements with AI with not just Media Composer, but also MediaCentral. So
that's it's the more news product, correct?
It's more news, it's asset management, it's a cloud-based editorial also, because you can actually edit in a web browser. But we're also building in semantic searching and a recommendation engine to say, hey, we're searching for a certain clip. Can you recommend any other clips related to that subject? And that becomes part of the MediaCentral system as well. A lot of stuff with Pro Tools. So we are building some new functions with Pro Tools as well. And also in Media Composer, we're showing Open Timeline I/O export. I know a lot of people are talking about new ways to exchange sequences to other applications. So in the latest release of Media Composer, we have a preview of exporting an Open Timeline I/O file that can be exchanged by Autodesk, Adobe, and other applications. So we're going to be doing more advances with that. And we also have a round trip that we're showing with Pro Tools. So it's something that people have been waiting for a long time. We recently had the exporting of a Pro Tools session in Media Composer, but we're actually showing a pre-release that's coming out probably mid this year, where you'll actually be able to round trip and take a Pro Tools session out of Pro Tools, drag and drop that into a bin in Media Composer, and you have the audio brought in with keyframes, with effects, and again, completing the entire round trip that people have been waiting years for.
Yeah, no, you guys were talking about that at IBC, correct?
Correct.
So now it's
real. It was one way. We talked about it, but we're actually seeing it in the software, so it will make it into the next release.
That's fantastic. So also just let everybody know the different ways they can get Media Composer. They don't need students all the way up to the tippy top. So what are you guys offering?
We have actually Media Composer free for students. We introduced that it was probably last year, mid-year, I believe. where basically institutions can get into a program called Media Composer Free for Students. It's an affiliate program where basically a school can purchase or get as many licenses of Media Composer that they need, and they can actually distribute those to their students for free. Because we want to actually get students to learn Media Composer. Oh, by the way, along those lines too, we have new profiles for a classic view of Media Composer, which we introduced. When we introduced the new UI, people were sort of like taken aback by the new look. It's an amazing piece of software, but people liked the previous versions, and we're a little reluctant to change. So
sure.
we made
editors like being able to not even think about what they're doing and just kind of move around. So I get that. But do you find that they're sort of like finding their way to the new one?
Absolutely. I mean, so many editors have adjusted and made the jump to the newer software, the newer versions. Number one, because they're finding it's faster, but also any of the new features and functions are going to be in the newer version. So the classic mode, which we just introduced, is letting all of your bins and windows float, which is great. We also have a profile called Transitioning from Adobe Premiere, because we know people know Adobe, but they sort of are like, I don't know how to use AVID Media Composer. So this actually changes the UI to look like Premiere, and actually changes the keyboard to be a Premiere default keyboard. Even though all the functionality and everything is in Media Composer, we want to make it a little more familiar for people to make that transition.
Sure.
And also a few other things I need to highlight for NAB. We also opened up to other partners and workflows with the Panel SDK in Media Composer. So people who are working on workflows for review and approval, for dailies, for VFX, they actually can create a panel that's inside a Media Composer just to streamline the process. And we have a lot of companies that actually have signed up, over 100, to actually work and are developing to actually have a panel inside of Media Composer.
So it's a seamless experience from the editing.
Exactly. So you don't have to leave Media Composer to do any of this extra work. You can actually drag and drop elements from this panel with the partner right into a bin at work. So actually, again, cutting down on the process of having to leave an application to do any of that extra work. And we also are introducing AVID Huddle.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
AVID Huddle is a collaborative tool using Microsoft Teams as a way to see the output of Media Composer through SRT. So you can share a cut, share any sort of visuals that you want to see to anybody using Microsoft Teams. And you can actually make annotations, you can draw on frames, you can do printouts, and also those annotations come back as markers back into Media Composer. So some really great new advancements.
Michael, thank you so much for stopping by and filling us in on what's new.
Anytime.
And I'm sure I'll see you at the next one, wherever that may be.